Well, it's Tuesday night, and I don't know how much is actually showing up, but I got the fencing put in up here. I got to go through, it's getting too dark, but I've got to go through and trim some of the upper sections so that we can easily put on the soffit hardware cloth. But at least it's up there, so when we let the chicks out on this side of the run, we don't have to worry about anything coming through over here and trying to get a snack. So not a whole lot of progress tonight, but at least sealing all that off is one more big piece that has to get checked off. I think really the last big piece for outside is just closing off all these soffit sections all the way down and around with hardware cloth. So here's just an idea of what we ended up doing for splitting up the run and why we have two hatch doors, so that we can have the brooder on the one side and let the chicks come out into the run over here, and then we put a second door on this side so that when they're big enough and when we want to let them out, they can still come out into the yard a little bit, but get back into that run if they need to. So they're learning right now, but just having this space that you can kind of split off when you've got chicks does make things a little bit nicer. And then when we don't need the separate spaces anymore and the chicks are bigger, we just pull the fencing and close off the hatch to the brooder, and everybody uses the same space. It's probably been a week or two since I last picked up the camera for the Coop project. See, we can come over here. Chickens are getting pretty big out here sunbathing. A couple over here. I don't know. Yep, some are still in here wanting more food. But yeah, they're getting big. Just with school starting back up, soccer schedule, you know, everything, stuff gets pushed for the back burner. But Jess had already painted in here. And then yesterday she came through and she actually took extra pieces from the old siding of the coop, as well as extra pieces from siding replacement that we did on the front of the house, and she flipped them upside down and put them on top of the old subfloor, just to give us a fairly smooth surface. Now, we still haven't been able to do a whole lot of looking regarding linoleum remnants for the floor, so for the time being, I think tomorrow Jess is going to come in here and put Tyvek down just to give us a kind of a moisture barrier so that the floor doesn't absorb anything, even though it's painted, but it still gets nasty. So we'll put the Tyvek down and then we'll throw bedding in here. So by this weekend, the ducks should be able to come in here. And so we just kind of pieced in different pieces. Once the linoleum gets down, it's really not going to be that big of a deal. We're going to leave this as an access hatch because it's kind of a cool space underneath. So there's old water lines. There's an old pressure tank down in there. Old power lines for the pump itself. But yeah, just not something I wanted to close off completely, because it's kind of a neat space. Almost like a little bunker space. Hopefully by this weekend, ducks can come on in here. We've got to clean these rails still. We pulled these ones off and cleaned those ones, but those are still the old rails from before. I think what we decided right here for the window is, I think we're going to do something similar to this with the mesh hardware cloth that just kind of sits down into a couple of rails for the window. So if we need to open the window, we just slide the I don't know, whatever you call it. It's almost a hatch. You just slide it up, open your windows, and then let it slide back down. Probably have a little latch on top so that nothing from the outside can raise it up. But then it'll allow us to take that whole thing out, clean the windows, clean everything out. And I mean, we had talked about, you know, hinged doors and stuff, and it's just going to be easier just to make a frame, put the hardware cloth on it, let it slide up and down. In the past, we had holes cut in the mesh so that we could reach our fingertips through to open the windows. And yeah, it's just going to be a little bit easier. Looks like Jess took the door off for the Coop so that she can work on sanding, staining, sealing. We'll get that one done, and then we'll work on this one. But school starting, school projects, concerts, homework. Yeah, would have been nice to have a lot of this wrapped up completely before we got to school time. But at least it's functional. And I don't know, maybe I don't know if I showed you this before during the daytime. I know I showed it at night when you couldn't see much, but we did get this backside fenced off. Still have the soffits to do. Still have to buy more hardware cloth for the soffits. It is fully functional, just not 100% critter proof yet. And then actually, I'm gonna see if I can get to this tonight, but I have some rails and mounts to put up, 3 more panels on each side to give me a little more power, because I've got 7 extra panels that I can use. So I'll try and put 3 on each side just to kind of match what's currently there. The same angle, profile, and everything. I just have to install them a little differently because it's over top of the steel. And then that'll give me 1 extra that I can use for random testing or replacement if something's not working. Well, Saturday, Jess got this door all pulled down, sanded and stained. And then today she went through and clear coated that one, as well as this one. And then she pulled down the door between the coop and the storage room right here. Got it all sanded down, and she's gonna actually start sanding that one tonight, so that maybe tomorrow we'll be able to hang this door again, let it be all done. It's actually kind of funny when you pull up at night, it actually looks like the coop door is wide open. And then Thursday, I put the rail system on this side, and I went to actually put 3 of the solar panels on this side and realized that I was missing a couple of pieces, so I had to order those. Hoping they would show up today, which is Monday, but they didn't. And so I ended up just putting the rails on this side as well. So everything is prepped and ready to go. So when I end up getting those last couple of pieces, I can put 6 of those panels that are leaning up against the fence over there on the coop roof in the same orientation that the rest of these are in. So it's really final stretches. I mean, the doors were a big part of it. We'll put the Tyvek down inside the coop, lay the bedding down, and then we just have to finish the soffit, really. Get that all sealed up. And then, I mean, there's landscaping around the outside edge that we'll need to do. But it's pretty much done. Which is a really good feeling. These last couple of weeks, it's just kind of been, you know, the little here, little there, when you can. These guys are getting bigger and bigger. We are October 21st right now, so these guys will end up going in, I want to say the second week of November. And then we'll open all the space up, close off the brooder, and the ducks can have full access to everything out here. It's been fun. It's been a project. My lights for the run fell through, so I'm still looking for what I'm going to put back out here, because the rope light doesn't really give us a whole lot right now. We'll figure something out. I mean, it's not really a huge necessity for a lot of light back here, but we'll put something out here. Especially now that it's getting darker earlier. Well, I've got a quick Wednesday update. Jess has been busy. I don't remember if I showed stuff yesterday or not. She's been going through painting the little hatches that go inside the coop. She did get the last clear coat on the back side of this door, and then she got this one in here all clear coated and hung as well, and got the inside ready for the ducks to come in here tonight. I think we had one already in here taking a look just to see what was in here. So from the door standpoint, we'll add our little stopper trim around. We've got our handle hardware that we just have to add, and then that will be all finished, but they can at least use this tonight. These hatches should be dried fairly quickly. The wind is actually helping quite a bit with that. And then this door got its second coat today as well. Last night and a little bit this morning, I got these panels put up on top of the roof. I found out the hard way on a 6/12 pitch. Don't try to put the panels on the roof by yourself, especially when you have ducks and chickens running around and they poop all over the place, because your shoes get all nasty and then you slide down the roof with the solar panel. So I've got to get things wired up still, but we've got all the panels hooked up except for the one last extra one that I have over there. But that'll be nice to help bring in some extra power as well. So really knocking out these last few tasks and projects as the temperature starts to change, and the coop is really going to be starting to get used more and more. I'm still trying to decide about a light right up above here, but I mean, really the last thing that we have to do once we get the handle on the door in the coop, it's really putting the mesh in the soffit. And that buttons it all up, and that finishes the project. It'd be nice to have it fully wrapped up and fully finished. I mean, I guess there's always going to be more to be done. I know we've got to paint in here, and then add our shelves up top and whatever we're doing over here. And then we were going to do some shelves up here and around here as well. You know, just kind of utilize the space. I know Jess is going to build some brooding boxes for when we get the chickens in the springtime. A couple roosting poles, but again, all that stuff can be done really at any time. So yeah, not too bad at all. Well, we finally got to get out here and work on the coop quite a bit today. We were able to kind of finish putting in all the fence, all the soffit around almost the entire coop. Only spot that we don't have it is right here. We're actually going to make a little, I don't know, kind of like an access door right here so that I can still get up here with wiring and everything if I have to. I shouldn't have to, but just in case. But yeah, so we got it all the way down, around and up at the top on all four sides, which is, you know, just kind of nice to have that done. And then at the beginning of the day, I got the latch put on this door. I did have to trim out a little bit because the trim on this door is thicker than the other two doors that we made, so I had to trim it out. Jess is going to come back through and pop the hardware off and stain it, just to give it a good seal. But it's nice to have an actual lock on the door. We have to put our trim around it. Still, Jess put 1/4 inch around the outside edge just to fill the gap a little bit. Chickens have been out of this space for a while. Jess had cleaned up the brooder, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. We just haven't had a chance to take it down yet. But it's still kind of a construction mess in here. We need to pull all this stuff out so that we can actually start building our shelves and kind of placing things in here like we want. But we're to the final stages. I mean, and we truly are. A few touch-up paint jobs here and there. We've got that one spot that we have to just put the mesh hatch over. But we've got panels all up on the roof. Wiring's all done. Fencing is 100% done. Soffit's 99% done. I'm hoping with one more good day, all the necessities will be done. And then the rest is, you know, what we want to do with the inside. So this is probably going to be the last update video. Probably just throw it in with everything else. Last update video for the year. I think we've got pretty much everything buttoned up. Jess went through and added a recessed block up here, which allows my conduit still to go up, but I can unscrew this, remove this, and still work up underneath here. She came over and stained around the door just to make it look a little bit nicer. I know, it's a Coop, but who cares? Inside, got the brooder all pulled out. She got all the extra tools and stuff pulled out, with the exception of just a couple of things that we're finishing up with. Started adding some shelves up above. We've actually had these things floating around for I don't know how long, so nice to actually be able to put them to use. Got one sign hung up, and then she went and did the stopper around the door and stained around the door. Ducks have been using this thing, I think, each night. And then got stained in around the handle and latch that I had to pull out. So right now she's working on the very last piece of what we're going to be hanging on this Coop for this year. Just kind of adding a little bit of polish to the Coop itself.
Wow.
Nice little finishing touch. I think it works. At least now the door won't look like it's wide open when we pull up and it's dark outside.
Very true.
So thanks for following along. It's been a fun project. I think in the spring we'll probably look at even more shelves on the inside and, you know, just kind of making the storage room a little more usable. We've got the nesting boxes to build for the chickens. We've got the roosting poles to take care of. I don't know if we're gonna do some like bin storage back here for some of the food. But yeah, it's been a fun project. I mean, it's definitely been a long one, a lot longer than I planned on it being. But if you don't look at it too closely, it actually looks like we knew what we were doing. Like many folks, when they work on projects, there's always little things that you realize that you screwed up on. So with that, I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all stay safe, stay warm, and we'll catch up with you later.